Alright guys, welcome back. Told you I'd do another one of these today. Hopefully I'll get a third one done as well. It depends on how quick I am with video editing. And there's also another game I kind of want to play on this channel. It's about 4 in the afternoon, so I don't know if I'll have time for everything, but we'll see. So let's see if we can get a victory here. We didn't do anything except for just advance over to the next part of the game. And so you guys know I've been recording everything that I do, both I guess in-game and also out-of-game, just in case something is interesting later on when it's time to make a major video. We're a long way away from that, so we won't worry about that much today. We are in 10th place, and we're playing against TG Victoria Augsburg, and we're predicted to have an easy win, so we'll see what we can do. We'll do another quick pick, which means that Hannes Lehmann will be back in playing left back. Kutsu, of course, back in as always, but we want him playing up front. Well, I don't know. It depends. We probably do want him in this poacher role, don't we? So Smayak will be in this other role. Maybe we'll have a little bit more luck today. It'd be really funny if that change that I made yesterday ended up being the reason why we lost. I said yesterday, I meant earlier today. So we'll go ahead and go straight over to the match. This is our team. This isn't our team. Oh no, this is we're talking about who we're going to mark. That's what's going on. I thought it was this screen. Anyway, one of these days I'll figure out what I'm doing. Meanwhile, we're going to start this match, and Lehmann over there with the ball over on the left side. So this is at Victoria Augsburg Stadium. I have no idea what the stadium's called in real life. The people who put together this this data file didn't really put in everything they could have, especially for these lower league teams, because for some of them it's kind of hard to figure out where they're playing. It doesn't really matter that much anyway, because as soon as we are finally promoted, we'll probably end up with an actual stadium instead of playing at this field in Bobingen in the middle of nowhere. And if you're worried about is there room for a stadium, there is. Trust me, I've been to Bobingen, and I know that there is room there for a stadium if we want one. Lehmann back to Flaig, over to Yilmaz. Yilmaz to Michael. Sander looking for someone inside, and he found Kutsu right there. Kutsu to Rausch, trying to do a little bit of give and go, and it didn't work. Didn't work. Rausch didn't even look for him, really. Flaig, however, wins it over to Kutsu. Must be offside. There's the shot, and they end up tipping it behind, and apparently it wasn't offside, so how about that? So we get a corner out of all that. Still nothing. Kutsu can't get his head over to it. It goes over to Sander. Over to Michael, and his shot, unfortunately, well-timed. I think it was well thought, but ends up sailing wide. So this is another look at this excellent pass forward from Flaig over to Kutsu. He was offside. You could see from that clearly that he was offside. The game's not going to tell us that he was potentially offside. In fact, I can't remember if I have that turned on or not. Here was Bauer with the kick, and while I'm looking and fiddling around with this stuff, yeah, offsides here, we probably do need to turn offsides on, and it'll let us know about offsides decisions. This ends up being knocked away over to Bauer, who's found Smayak. That's got to be Kutsu there running forward over to Bauer. He didn't see him. A little bit better field vision, and that could have really turned into something for us. Rausch here with this. Beats one man, beaten by the second, but he goes back and gets the ball over to Flaig to Bauer. There is Kutsu. It was Kutsu running full head of steam before. Michael over to Bauer. Bauer to Sander. And Sander takes the shot instead of looking for Kutsu. Kutsu was right up here. Should have passed. So so much for that. They have a corner, which is always dangerous for us. And that ends up being a goal by Leicht, and that was a real chip shot, man. That was a chip shot from far out, and we are behind to a team that we should be dominating. So let's take another look at this. Look at where he shoots this ball from. It's just a sort of like, excuse me, I think he hit it kind of with almost his ankle. And it ends up floating up and in over the head of our keeper, and that's just some real poor luck. And so we're down in 11th place now. This is not where we want to be, and nobody up front is scoring any goals. And Fulco ends up taking kind of a hit from that. Look at his rating, 6.3. So we'll just start the second half. We won't worry about that too much. I think that was rotten luck, honestly. I think that's all there was to it. Rausch has committed a foul right away. And so we're back to our fouling ways. Fortunately, no red cards, at least so far. If you remember from prior matches, we've had red cards like in the first couple minutes. So that's the end of that highlight. And we'll see if we can get the ball back and if we can get a couple of shots across. Lehmann there with a yellow card, so nothing has changed there. Lehmann in his last match had 2 yellow cards, and you know what that means. But we're not quite to the point yet where we're eagerly watching the scoreboard, and we're a little bit too far down in the table anyway to care that much. Brower didn't really do very much with that free kick, so much for that. And it would be nice if he would start passing or coming up with an actual strategy there instead of just knocking the ball over the net, which is what he feels like he does every single time he has one of those. Fortunately for us, Victoria Augsburg is incapable of figuring out what to do with the ball when they have it. That's why I said their goal was kind of a fluke. Lehmann was looking for somebody, and there was a miscommunication there on our part, and that doesn't look very good. And we've played enough together by this point to where we shouldn't have miscommunication like that, and now we're going to be punished for it. Donkor, and it's Özkul who ends up winning that, finds Rausch to Sander, and that looks a little bit more like our game. They don't show us a replay of that for whatever reason. And Flaig this time ends up with the yellow card. So about 66, 67 minutes into this, Kutsu having another really, really poor match. So our big scorer is still struggling to score. Question is, do we sort of leave him in or not? I think we leave him in this time. And let's see if we can get some sort of a highlight. We do get one eventually. Flaig back to Lehmann. Lehmann brings this up over to Michael, to Brower. Brower looking forward, finds Kutsu. Let's make some magic. Kutsu, and he's got almost nobody there. He somehow finds Sander, and Sander with the goal. That's his first of the season. Andre Sander with his first goal, and it was Kutsu with the amazing pass to make that happen. And it's 1-1. So Kutsu right here sees nothing but blue, and somehow finds Sander in between all of that. Sander, with about 6 guys in front of him, is still able to push that one through, thread the needle, and score the goal, and it's 1-1. Well, getting only a single point from this game is not necessarily what we wanted, but it's something, and that's better than nothing. Home match, though, against a team like Victoria Augsburg is a match that we really should be winning. Smajek down to Sander. Sander to Brower. Kutsu, and we've got something going. Here's Sander again, and this time he fans on the shot. That wasn't very good. 1-1 the score remains. We've got about 10 minutes left. I think we're going to go with these guys all the way. Brower with the corner to Yilmaz, just over. Just over. It was a good idea. About to say, usually they show us a replay of this, and they do. And I tell you, if he had just his head pointed down a little bit more than that, that would have been in. He had nothing in front of him. Kutsu with it in a good position, but is knocked away, and now we got to watch out for this counterattack. Donkor with a really, really good move gets by his man, and the pass over to Prover, and his shot is not even close. So we got about a minute and a half left. Maybe we'll see some magic here. I don't know. Normally I would be doing all sorts of shouts, but there are no shouts in this game. Mikhail looking for Kutsu and can't find him, and this is a problem. Yilmaz not able to get there, but Fukal does and is able to knock it out for touch. And that gives us about 1 minute left. Lehmann to Flaig. Got a long way to go with this ball and not a lot of time to do it. It's up to Sander. Sander, the hero of this match. And that looks like that's the end of that highlight. So we'll look at this replay here again. And Donker, like I said, with that excellent, excellent move. And had this into Brover, who I swear was offside, but they didn't call it. And looks like we're about to get here to the end of this match. We do have 1 corner left, and that's going to be the end of it. So Bobingen wind up with a draw here, a match that we really should have won, and that's what we tell the players. But a draw is a draw, and that's better than losing. We've done a lot of losing in our time as well. That means that we remain in 10th place. We really need to get probably a string of wins, 2 or 3 of them, to make any sort of movement. Now, we have, a total of 30 matches in the season. We played 13. We do have some time left. The expectation was that we would win by a landslide. Well, you can expect that, but you don't know what our team is like. Brower really, I think, could be playing a little bit better. But that's just sort of the way that this one is, and you win some, you lose some, and this time we draw some. So there you have it. Hope that you enjoyed that, and I'll come back with you hopefully again today. If not, then tomorrow with another one of these matches, and we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.